welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I pray you're well in all your ways and that you are living your best life. Thanks to every single person that has subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe. It's absolutely free if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit that notification button so that you find out every single time we upload an episode. Now, I don't even know whether to call it disturbing or shocking news coming out of Uganda. A couple of months ago, Ugandan women were outraged. Or let me not say the women, but the women rights movements and the church was outraged after the Ugandan government said that they were going to use their women's curves as a tourism attraction. And so, basically in February, the Ugandan government actually launched, guys, this is for real. They actually launched a competition that seeks to promote the country's culture tourism potential to the rest of the world using their most heavily endowed women. And in case you didn't know this, I know this is a PG show, but Ugandan women apparently are very curvaceous. So, a lot of women's rights movements came out and they were like, women shouldn't be objectified. There was this lady, wait, I want to get her comment. The Umbrella Organization for Women's Rights, they said, using a woman to market a product and using a woman as a product are two totally different things. And the idea of promoting women as tourist attractions is more of the latter. This story really got me happy. So now, even the Ugandan Women Parliamentary Association, they also got really upset. And they said, women are not tourist attractions. They are not an object for pleasure. They are not a money-minting project. Now, the reason the women got so upset is because actually there's been a lot of anchor babies from the Chinese. At one point, I think either in early 2018 or late 2017, they were estimating that about 10,000, anchor babies had been born in Uganda by the Chinese, Belt Road Network or Silk Road, that one, right? Who had come to kind of help construct the roads and the other projects that they were doing in Uganda, and then they would disappear and leave, a trail of like these, anchor babies, half Chinese, half Ugandan. So a lot of people, got feelings because they said the women don't even have the proper rights, etc., etc. Well, regardless of all that, the Miss Curvy Uganda actually took place last week, and it's all about tell our story through our big butts. Anyway, I should have said that, excuse me. And basically the competition aimed at exploring, the endowment of Ugandan women. And it was actually spearheaded by this guy called Geoffrey Kiwanda, trusted to be a man who comes up with this idea, you know what I mean? And he said, if you see the curves of a Munyakole woman, they have a story behind these curves. And if you see a Muganda woman concentrated, apparently her curves are concentrated on her waist. The way she does, there's a story about that too, and that's the story we sell. That's the tourism. This is really disturbing. Actually, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think, because they're trying to justify it. And he even defended the whole thing, saying that all the beauty pageants that had been brought to Uganda all focused on like slender women. And so the well-endowed African beauty women never got to show their beauty. So he defended, and called it beauty in diversity. You guys, this is a real story. Like, this actually happened, and you can see it there. And so he said, this is not about being immoral. This is about appreciating who we are. What is wrong with appreciating what we are? I don't know. What do you guys think? Should our women be objectified like this? I mean, using women as a tourist attraction. Do you think people are taking it too far? Because a lot of women actually entered the competition. So maybe women don't see it that bad. And actually, the winner of the competition now becomes part of the Uganda Ministry of Tourism in promoting the beauty of Uganda. I'll be sharing more details right after this. Beautiful girl with a
Uganda ways. From Uganda, from Uganda.
I'm a beautiful girl with a hits.
From Uganda,
number one on the list.
From Uganda,
from the east to the west.
from Uganda, from Uganda. Kugela gela nyekuleke Victoria. Bulijjo nkusoma mu mawulire. Mwana gwe kati njagala ombulire. Mwebibala ku muti Uganda.
Ongela gela nyakuleke Victoria.
Welcome back to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. Thanks to every single person that supports us through our PayPal and Patreon accounts. Special shout out to Alfred Sims, my brother. You've given such a generous donation to the relief efforts in Zimbabwe. We have definitely gotten that where it needs to go. But, we are our brother's keeper, and it's just amazing to see how the support, even those who pray for me, send me their best wishes, send me the good vibes, good vibe emails telling me how they appreciate the show. You guys really, it's a blessing to my life, and I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Now, everyone is up in arms because Uganda has decided to use their women as a tourist attraction, literally. And, tourism is the biggest moneymaker in Africa. It's the easiest moneymaker in Africa for a lot of, countries like Uganda, which are strapped economically. And if you look at Uganda, last year, they actually made $1.4 billion from tourism alone, and it was one of their top earners. And this is just across, it's even across the world. London, Paris, all these cities, you'll see that, but them it's like 10 million people visit every year, and you'll see that one of their top earners is tourism. So tourism is like gold, because it has so many, it touches so many aspects of a country's sector, from food to accommodation to transport to etc. etc. So a lot of governments concentrate heavily on tourism and promoting themselves as a tourist destination rather than concentrating on innovation and actually, manufacturing, creating those kind of jobs. It's the easy way out. And so, now a lot of people have caught feelings. In fact, women activists called it immoral exploitation of women that the Ugandan government would even think of using curvaceous Ugandan women as a tourist attraction. I mean, does this mean that, a lot of people were saying, what does that even mean sexually? What does that interpret into sexually? And I'm not going to say what I wanted to say about, women in Uganda. If you've been to Uganda, you know what? Women in Uganda, I mean, seriously, okay, let me just say this. In Kenya, they have such a reputation of being real women, and, the ones you've seen them like kneeling to serve their husbands, they're very charming. Let me leave it at that. So what do you guys think? I really want to know, your opinions. And it's funny because the event was actually organized by a woman called Anne Mugoma. And so they went around looking at the different, curvaceous women, but they also added intellect. Your curves and your brain is what they were looking for. And she said that, we're going to show you what an endowed Ugandan woman looks like. With no offense, everyone is endowed, but we're talking about the real curves. Uganda has the real curvaceous ladies, and we are African, we are Ugandan, and the way we are shaped is truly African. What do you think about this? Because, there has been a lot of criticism for a long time about how international beauty pageants are run. And, it's all about kind of the Eurocentric or European ideas of beauty. So do you guys agree with Miss Curvy Uganda? It's taken place. There's a winner. She's now going to become, a tourism ambassador for what men, and I don't know if it's for aimed at women as well, can expect when they go to Uganda. I just can't understand this. And you should have seen the time, these are the things that embarrass us as an African people. I'm telling you, we look unserious. There were some headlines like the Reuters and stuff. They were like, Ugandan woman, Uganda's latest tourism product is that curvy, sexy women. Oh my gosh. And it's really, and listen, even the church has stepped in, and they've actually, there's been so much backlash on this, but it just shows you sometimes the government doesn't care what the people think or what the people say. And even the church came out and said that it was immoral to have women do that, especially if you consider that last year, I don't know if you guys remember the story I did last year, where the Ugandan parliament had actually created a dress code for female members of parliament, saying that they had to wear shirts shirts that were up to here and skirts that were below their knee. And there was actually an incident where a female MP was actually kicked out of Parliament for being indecently dressed. And then a year later, they now have Miss Curvy Women where they're trying to attract men to check out their women. Anyway, leave a comment. It's always good to see the other side of what's happening in Africa. Until next time.
Beautiful girl with the hips from Uganda, number one on the list. From Uganda, from east to the west. From Uganda, from Uganda.